we all have a starting point. Your starting point is going to be different than Heather's starting point is going to be different than this guy over here or this girl over there. As I like to say, Johnny Bag of Donuts or Janie Fitness. It doesn't matter. We all have a day one, and it's going to be different for everybody.
Welcome to Repairing God's Temple. My name is Heather, and this channel is where I'm sharing my journey toward better physical and mental health. We're going to get right into my interview with Amazing Dave. I recorded this interview a few weeks ago, and I'm really happy to share it with you now. I'll touch base with you after the video for my update. As promised a few weeks ago, I am interviewing Amazing Dave.
That's a big intro. I don't know how to respond to that.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm happy to do it.
So how long have you been a personal trainer?
This is my 16th year. I started when I was about 21 years old. I just turned 37. Yes, this is my 16th year as a full-time personal trainer.
Wow.
I guess.
What's your favorite thing about your job?
There's too many to list. Just the interaction with people is probably my favorite thing. Getting to form those relationships with somebody and take them from, this is what I want to do, and then getting it done and going above and beyond that. So I could go for a long time about what my favorite thing is, but of my many favorite things, that's probably the first that comes to mind.
What was your motivation to pursue this career?
That is a long answer, but the short answer is it's the only thing I could see myself doing and enjoying. It's been said a lot. People have said, find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I really love what I do. And, there comes that point when I was 20 years old working a dead-end job. It's like, what could I see myself doing? I didn't know personal training was an option. And some different life events led me to looking into, I need to start school, I need to pick a career path, and personal training was something I saw, and I was like, really, you could do that? And then you could make a living at it. I was like, I'll give it a try. And that was in 2006, late 2006. I started in 2007 and never looked back. It's all I've done since then.
Are there different types or levels of personal trainer? If so, what are they and which are you?
So, yeah, yes and no. Personal training it's a muddy field because a lot of times you get anybody that's worked out in the gym, you'll say, well, I know Johnny Fitness works out. I want to learn something. Hey, let me follow you. And all of a sudden that guy's a personal trainer. I have my associate's degree in health and fitness. I have a certification through ACE and I have a certification through the NASM. And I am studying for my ACSM certification too. So it's, like I said, it's a muddy water because anybody who's worked out for an extended time could say, I'll be a personal trainer now. And also people can go the other route, get a degree, get a certification and go from there. So when you say, are there levels? There's yes and no, but I've met trainers that are phenomenal that have no accreditation. They've got years and years of experience that you can't learn in school. And then I've met trainers who are on paper should be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they need a lot of work. So to say, are there different? Yes, on paper there are different levels, and there are great trainers out there who are very educated and they do a great job. There's also great trainers out there that have just spent their life in the gym and learned a lot of stuff that way. So realistically, I would trust somebody who's certified, gone through school a lot, but I pick up a lot of good stuff from guys that have just been doing this for decades and decades. So that's not a really clear-cut answer to what you asked me, but it's not really a clear-cut field right now.
If somebody's thinking about getting a personal trainer, How can they decide what they need? How can they find a great trainer? Are there certain questions they should ask?
I just reach out. I like to talk to people first when they reach out. You could get on Facebook and look around. You could Google it. I think the fact that if someone's watching this right now and they say personal trainer out loud, our phones are listening, so you'll probably have personal trainer ads pop up on your social media feeds. But what I've always found for getting somebody started and committed is, number one, you have to click with that personal trainer. Your personalities have to mesh. If you have a friend that's going to see a personal trainer, I would suggest talking to that friend, getting a suggestion. Then if you go to that trainer with that friend and it's good, well, you already have one foot in the door because your friend sees that trainer, now you see that trainer, that's good there. But looking around, getting on Facebook, getting on Marketplace, throw a suggestion out there on social media. Does anybody have a trainer that you would recommend? And then do your due diligence on that trainer. Look into it. Like, I mean, anybody that's been doing this should have some sort of a reputation out there, whether it's positive or negative. I'm sure there's people out there that have great things to say about me, and I'm sure there's people out there that have bad things to say about me.
I can't imagine.
You never know. You never know. But you want to find the trainer that's going to work the best for you. And I've seen it a lot where, I mean, and as I've told you 100 times, I have 3 rules in my gym: work hard, have fun, and don't hit yourself in the head. But you want to have fun. Not everybody loves working out. You want to find a trainer that can take that thing that you don't love and make it something you enjoy. So do your due diligence. If you do a session with a trainer and you don't like it, don't feel bad that it's not a fit for you. His or her style isn't for you. That's that. I've been told no a bunch of times, and that's okay. And I try to, what did I do that you don't like, and blah, blah, blah. I try to learn from it. But it's finding a trainer that's going to work the best with what you want and the way you want to do it. You want someone to take you out of your comfort zone, but you don't want to hate going to the gym either. It's got to be something you enjoy. So again, a long answer to a very short and concise question.
I had more time to work on the question.
Right, but it's also, I don't think that you would have committed to it and stuck with it long term if we didn't get along. You know what I mean? If you were coming in, you're like, oh, I gotta go see Dave again. It's not something you would look forward to doing.
Right.
It can't be something you're like, you're not, that's where, you know what, my knee's bugging me today, I'm out. You know what, I did not sleep, I'm out, I'm not doing it today. That's where you cancel, you don't wanna do it more and more. Because if you don't enjoy it and it's not a good atmosphere for you, you gotta find a place where you really, really like it, and a trainer that you really mesh well with. Because then that's gonna work long-term, that's gonna work best for both of you.
So the last 3 questions that I have, you're gonna have to be completely honest,
Okay.
even if I cry.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Get ready.
What is the biggest challenge being my trainer?
The biggest challenge, and I'll say this, it's a challenge, but it's fun for me, is you've got a couple of limitations that we're working with, right? And there are certain machines I have that you don't fit in. No big deal. What can I do to make this work on top of that? The other part, what we've started doing recently is working a little more cardio into your workouts, because I have so much time with you on your feet before your back starts to hurt and we have to take a break. I have so many things I can do with you before your knee starts to hurt and then we have to take a break. So while that's a challenge, that's fun for me. I like that. So the challenge isn't so much that it's hard, oh, it's such a challenge. To me, it's more, how can I do this? It's where I get to be creative and like, I get to have fun that way. I'm not saying, people have said, oh, you sit with a notebook next to your bed and you wake up in the middle of the night and come up with this stuff. That's not entirely true, but it's not entirely false either. Like, it is stuff I really like to dive into this because it's something I really enjoy to do. So you're not a challenge per se, but a project. And that's fun for me. That's fun.
We have never really talked, or at least not in the last year, about what are my specific goals, what am I working toward?
Right.
What are your goals for me? What are we doing?
My goals for you are to increase your functional fitness. I want getting up and down to not be a challenge for you anymore. I want taking a 20-minute walk around the block to not be a big deal for you anymore. So one of the things that I really like to focus on, and you know I do this, is hips. Every time you come in here, what's the first thing you do? You do hips. Increasing strength in your hips is going to help to increase strength in your knees, which is going to help to increase strength in your ankles, which is going to help to increase blood flow. Your circulation is going to get better. So by increasing functional fitness, that's my biggest goal for you. The weight loss will come. The weight loss will come. That's why you take weight loss numbers a little harder than I do, because there's other things that I see along the way that, yeah, maybe you didn't drop the weight you wanted to this week, but you're getting about 2 inches deeper on your squat than you were last week. That's more exciting for me than, don't get me wrong, when you drop 100 pounds, I'm gonna go nuts. But what's gonna be more exciting for me, and you're not gonna notice it at first, but when you're getting up and down and it's not gonna bother you. when going for a walk isn't a chore anymore. That's my goal for you. More than anything else, that's what I want for you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
What am I doing well, and what do I need to work on?
Let's start with what you need to work on first, so we go to the negative and the positive.
I always love bad news first.
Okay, so what you need to work on more is not getting down on yourself, all right? And it's very easy for me to say that, and I say that to you all the time. It's easy for me to sit over here and say, don't do blah, blah, blah. Don't get so down on yourself. You're showing up, you're doing the work, that's what matters, all right? Outside of here, you're getting up, you're doing the work, don't get down on yourself. For you, I think it's very important to focus on anything is better than zero. What would you have been doing if you didn't get up and take that walk today? Okay, you did 10 minutes and you wanted to do a half hour and your knee started hurting. What would you have been doing otherwise? Anything's gonna be better than zero for you. So I think your biggest downfall is you start to get down on yourself and you let it snowball. That's what you need to do better. Easy for me to sit here and say, this is what you need to do better, you need to not get down on yourself. It's very simple for me to say that. That's the biggest thing. What you do well is you work so hard when you're here, whether you realize it or not. Whether you know it or not, you're doing things I didn't think you could do. We were deadlifting the other day. I think you got some footage of that. We were deadlifting the other day. You were hulking 135 around like it was nothing. Like you're messing around with my warm-up weight. You're moving weight around. And you're not, oh, this is killing my back. Your back is getting stronger, whether you realize it or not. And I think that's what you do really, really well, right? When you're here, you compartmentalize, everything that's going out there is out there, and you get the work done. And you never complain, this might hurt, that might hurt, we modify. But you never flat out say, I'm not doing this, I'm in a bad mood, give me something else, right? So one of the things that I'm glad we're doing this because I don't think I tell you enough is I tell you do a good job when you leave. And you're like, oh, you did a good job. If you were doing a terrible job, I'd be the first to tell you too. That was a terrible workout today. Step it up. What was with you? I haven't had to say that to you yet because when you're here, you work really, really hard. So, to double back, don't get so down on yourself, right? Again, easy for me to say, but you are doing the work. You're doing it, right? Second thing, you do work hard. Don't forget that. Don't lose sight of that, okay? All right.
So I guess very last question. What have I forgotten to ask?
That's a great question. What have you forgotten? There's too many to mention. The thing to remember, to sum up all of this, and anybody that's going through your journey right now is, we all have a starting point. Your starting point is gonna be different than Heather's starting point is gonna be different than this guy over here or this girl over there, or as I like to say, Johnny Bag of Donuts or Janie Fitness. It doesn't matter. We all have a day one, and it's gonna be different for everybody. And never compare yourself to this person and that person. And I just said it, it's very easy for me to say that. It's very easy for me to say, don't compare yourself to this person to that person because you're not going through their journey. But when it's just in your face all the time, it's hard not to do. But just keep in mind, every journey starts with that first step, and your first step is your first step. And don't lose sight of that.
Awesome. I think this is going to be my easiest edit ever.
All right. Great.
Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here.
I wish you could all meet Dave personally. He really is amazing, and his joy for life is infectious. The last couple weeks for me have been hit and miss where eating and activity are concerned. I've been consistent with getting to the gym, but right now I'm going to be on a break for a couple of weeks. The last weigh-in I shared with you was from June 3rd at 431 pounds. Last week I weighed in up 2.5 pounds at 433.5, and today I weighed in down 3.5 pounds at 430. That's a total weight loss so far of 14 pounds. I have hit a wall that I was expecting. It's pretty complicated, so we'll save that conversation for another time. For now, please know that Jesus loves you. These birds are crazy. I think this bird is really angry that I'm in the shelter with him.